Do you want to know the secret to staying motivated no matter what happens? Imagine this. You're working tirelessly, chasing goals, and yet every setback feels like a personal failure. Sound familiar? It's a struggle many of us face in a world obsessed with instant success and perfection. When I started my first job, I lived under constant pressure. I believed every result defined me, and each failure was a reflection of my worth. The stress was overwhelming. I'd stay awake at night replaying mistakes, wondering why I couldn't handle things better. The more I focused on outcomes, the more lost I felt. But everything changed when I discovered Stoic philosophy. Its teachings revealed a profound truth. Life isn't about controlling results. It's about mastering your thoughts, embracing challenges, and growing through them. That shift in mindset gave me clarity and resilience I never thought possible. In this video, I'll share 8 transformative Stoic practices that help me turn my struggles into strengths, and how you can do the same. From letting go of what you can't control to finding growth in adversity, these principles will empower you to build mental strength and navigate life with purpose. Now I want to hear from you. What was your first job like? Did you feel the pressure to succeed or struggle with setbacks? Share your story in the comments below. And let's learn from each other's experiences. Like this video, subscribe to Stoic Narratives Official, and let's get started. 1. Unlocking the power of thought. Your thoughts hold more power over your life than external circumstances like wealth, talent, or luck. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This truth is simple, yet profound. It reminds us that what happens in the world around us is often beyond our control, but how we think about those events is entirely within our grasp. Think about it. How many times have you let a single negative thought ruin your entire day? Perhaps it was a harsh comment from a colleague, a failed attempt at a goal, or even a setback beyond your control. That one thought spirals into others, and suddenly your mood and actions follow suit. This is the hidden power of your mind. Its ability to influence not just how you feel, but how you act and respond to challenges. Here's the lesson. If thoughts can pull you into despair, they can also lift you toward clarity and strength. The key lies in reframing your perspective. Instead of letting negative thoughts dominate, challenge them. Ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Is it even true? By questioning the narrative you create in your mind, you regain control over your emotions and your response to the situation. Now let's consider how you can apply this in real life. Picture yourself waking up to a daunting day ahead. Perhaps you're overwhelmed by a packed schedule or worried about an important decision. It's tempting to let anxiety take over, but here's a Stoic exercise to ground you. Start your day by identifying one empowering thought to carry with you. For example, I have overcome challenges before. I can handle this too. This simple exercise shifts your focus from fear to strength. It doesn't ignore the difficulty of the day, but prepares you to face it with resilience. Over time, this practice rewires your mind to default to empowering thoughts rather than destructive ones. Another practical step is to set mental boundaries. Avoid indulging in unnecessary worries about things beyond your control. For instance, if you're anxious about how others perceive you, remind yourself that their opinions are external and not within your sphere of influence. Direct your energy toward what you can change, your actions, decisions, and mindset. The power of thought is immense because it shapes not just your emotions, but the entire direction of your life. When you master your mind, you unlock the strength to rise above challenges and create a path of clarity, focus, and inner peace. As the Stoics teach us, true freedom begins in the mind. What thoughts will you choose to shape your reality today? 2. The art of practicing detachment without indifference. When we think about success, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that results define us. In a society that celebrates outcomes, promotions, awards, or accolades, it's no wonder that failure feels like the ultimate defeat. However, Stoic philosophy offers a revolutionary way to see things. Success isn't about the result, it's about the process. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring or striving for excellence. Instead, it's about maintaining emotional balance regardless of the outcome. Imagine giving your absolute best to something, a project, a goal, or even a relationship, and still falling short. For many, the instinct is to feel crushed, blaming themselves or external factors. But what if you could approach this differently? What if you could separate your effort from the result and find peace in knowing you gave your best? By accepting that we can only control our efforts, we find the strength to navigate even the most challenging outcomes with grace and resilience. As mentioned in the introduction, I was young and fresh into my first job, working on a major project that I poured my heart into. When it failed, the shock hit me like a tidal wave. At first, I denied the failure, convinced it was just a fluke. I told myself it wasn't my fault. It had to be external factors beyond my control. But deep down, I knew the truth. The anger came next. I felt betrayed by my efforts. My confidence crumbled, and doubts about my abilities clouded every thought. Then sadness swept in. I stopped trying altogether, convinced that all my hard work had been for nothing. Days felt heavy, and the idea of starting over seemed unbearable. But something changed when I stopped resisting the truth. I accepted the failure for what it was, a moment, not a definition of my worth. I started to reflect, not just on the project but on my expectations. Why had I tied my sense of value so tightly to a result? Wasn't the effort, the learning, and the growth equally important? This is where Stoic philosophy became my anchor. It taught me that while we cannot control outcomes, we have absolute control over our efforts and how we interpret the results. Detachment is not about apathy. It's about finding peace in knowing you did your best, regardless of the outcome. At that moment, I realized I wasn't letting go of the goal itself, but the emotional baggage attached to its success or failure. This shift in mindset helped me rebuild. I analyzed what went wrong, refined my approach, and poured my energy into the next project, not with fear of failing again, but with the clarity that my worth wasn't tied to the result. For anyone who finds themselves in a similar situation, here's how to navigate it wisely. Pause and reflect. When a failure happens, give yourself the space to process it. Accept the emotions, shock, disappointment, even sadness, but don't let them consume you. Journaling can help here. Separate effort from outcome. Remind yourself that effort is where your control lies. Whether or not the outcome aligns with your hopes, your effort carries intrinsic value. Learn from the experience. Instead of blaming external factors or yourself, look objectively at what could be improved. What worked, what didn't. Failure is a teacher, not a final verdict. Shift your mindset. Replace "I failed" with "this didn't go as planned, but here's what I gained." Detachment isn't indifference, it's emotional freedom. By practicing detachment, you'll find that life becomes less about chasing external validation and more about inner resilience. The next time a project doesn't succeed, ask yourself, did I give my best? If the answer is yes, let that be enough. This perspective isn't just stoic, it's liberating. 3. Embracing discomfort for growth. Growth begins where comfort ends. It's tempting to stay in familiar routines, avoiding challenges and discomfort. But true transformation happens when we face the things that make us uneasy. Like muscles growing stronger through resistance, our mental and emotional strength develops only when we push ourselves beyond what feels easy or safe. Think about it. How often do we avoid discomfort, telling ourselves we'll start tomorrow or that we're not ready yet? It's human nature to resist the unknown, but Stoic philosophy teaches us to welcome discomfort as a catalyst for growth. By stepping outside our comfort zones, we discover parts of ourselves we never knew existed. Take the story of someone determined to lose weight. At first, the gym felt intimidating. Each exercise was a reminder of how far they had to go. The discomfort wasn't just physical, it was emotional. They questioned their choices, battled self-doubt, and fought the urge to quit. But they kept showing up. Day by day, the discomfort became manageable, then empowering. Over time, their health improved, and so did their confidence. Or consider a person rebuilding family relationships after years of conflict. Conversations were awkward at first, filled with tension and unresolved emotions. But by embracing the discomfort of vulnerability, they found forgiveness and understanding. Slowly, bonds that once seemed broken became stronger than ever. These stories remind us that discomfort isn't the enemy. It's the doorway to change. Stoicism reinforces this idea by encouraging us to embrace challenges as opportunities to cultivate virtues like courage and resilience. The Stoics didn't shy away from life's difficulties. Instead, they saw adversity as a chance to grow. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." If you're struggling to take the first step, here's how to approach discomfort wisely. Start small. Growth doesn't happen overnight. Begin with manageable challenges. If you want to improve your health, commit to a 10-minute walk today instead of aiming for a marathon. Small steps build momentum. Reframe discomfort. Instead of viewing discomfort as a threat, see it as a sign of progress. Each time you feel uneasy, remind yourself that this is where growth begins. Stay consistent. Transformation requires persistence. Like the person at the gym or the one rebuilding relationships, consistency turns discomfort into strength. Reflect on your growth. Look back on the moments when you faced challenges and overcame them. Let those victories fuel your confidence for future obstacles. The next time you feel the pull of your comfort zone, ask yourself, what would happen if I pushed just a little further? Growth doesn't come from avoiding discomfort, it comes from embracing it with open arms. Life's greatest rewards lie just beyond the boundaries of what feels easy. Take the first step today. 4. The power of small choices. Life is not shaped by grand decisions alone. It's the small, everyday choices we make that ultimately determine the path we walk. These seemingly minor decisions, repeated consistently over time, build habits that shape our character and define our relationships. Yet, we often overlook their importance, dismissing them as too small to matter. But Stoic philosophy reminds us that it's through these small actions that we exercise control over our lives and align ourselves with our values. A personal story comes to mind. My wife, for many years, had a strained relationship with her sister. Old misunderstandings had festered into silence, creating a chasm that seemed impossible to bridge. I watched her struggle with the weight of this distance, the regret of lost moments, and the yearning for connection. It would have been easier to accept the status quo and continue living with the pain of unresolved conflict. But one evening, she made a small choice. She decided to write a letter, a heartfelt note to her sister, apologizing for past misunderstandings and expressing her desire to rebuild their relationship. It wasn't easy. She doubted herself, worried it might be ignored or rejected, but she sent it anyway. Her sister responded. It wasn't an instant reconciliation, but it was a start. From there, small choices followed. A phone call, an invitation to meet, and slowly, shared memories replaced the silence. Each step required courage and consistency, but over time, their bond grew stronger. Today, they speak regularly, laugh over shared memories, and have found a connection they thought was lost forever. This story illustrates the immense power of small choices. They may seem insignificant at first, but they hold the potential to transform relationships, habits, and even lives. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what is within our control, and small choices are the essence of that practice. We cannot guarantee the outcome of our efforts, but we can choose to act in alignment with our values. If you're facing a similar situation, harnessing the power of small choices begins with one simple action. It might be as small as reaching out to someone with a kind text or taking a first step toward a goal. These small efforts, though seemingly insignificant, can break the cycle of inaction. Consistency is key. Lasting change doesn't happen overnight. Repeating these small steps day after day is what creates meaningful progress, even when it feels slow. It's also important to detach from immediate results and focus on the process rather than the outcome. The Stoics remind us that our control lies in the effort we put in, not in guaranteeing the results we hope for. Along the way, take time to reflect and adjust. If one approach doesn't work, try another. Growth is rarely a straight line. It's a journey of learning, adapting, and moving forward with purpose. By focusing on small, deliberate choices, you can change the trajectory of your relationships, habits, and life. In the end, it's not the size of the step that matters, it's the direction in which you're moving. Make your next small choice a meaningful one. 5. The inner citadel, building your mental fortress. Life is unpredictable. Chaos, conflict, and distractions constantly knock at the door. How do we find peace in such a world? The Stoics believed in the concept of the inner citadel, a fortified mental state where you are in control, no matter what happens outside. Your mind becomes a fortress, impervious to the noise and chaos of the external world. Imagine this fortress as a place where only the thoughts and emotions that serve you are allowed in. It's not about shutting yourself off from life. It's about mastering the way you respond to it. Building your inner citadel doesn't happen overnight, but every deliberate choice strengthens its walls. By controlling what influences you and focusing on what matters, you create a space of resilience and clarity. Think about the challenges we face in today's hyper-connected world. Social media constantly bombards us with information, opinions, and comparisons. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, inadequate, or anxious. The constant noise erodes our focus and peace of mind, leaving us reactive and emotionally drained. Many of us don't realize we have the power to filter these distractions, to decide what enters our mental fortress and what stays outside. Building this fortress starts with mindful decisions. For example, turning off notifications on your phone may seem small, but it's a powerful act of control. By choosing when and how you interact with the world, you reclaim your time and attention. Instead of reacting to every alert or message, you focus on what truly matters. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. This principle applies to the inner citadel. You can't control the opinions of others, the news cycle, or the state of the world, but you can control how much power you allow these things to have over your mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." If you find yourself feeling overwhelmed, consider these steps to strengthen your inner citadel. First, pause and identify the source of your anxiety. Is it an external event or someone's opinion that you cannot change? Recognize that your energy is better spent on what is within your control, your thoughts, actions, and values. Second, create boundaries. Limit your exposure to negativity, whether it's in conversations, media, or even your own thoughts. Finally, practice focusing your mind through activities like meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in silence. These practices build the discipline needed to maintain your inner citadel. By treating your mind as a fortress, you'll find that the storms of life no longer feel as threatening. You'll stand stronger, calmer, and more focused. The world may not change, but your ability to navigate it will. This is the essence of the inner citadel, a place of strength, clarity, and peace that no one can take from you. 6. Reframing adversity as life's best mentor. Adversity often feels like an unwelcome guest, disruptive, painful, and unfair. Yet Stoicism teaches us that challenges are not barriers but opportunities. When we face difficulty, we stand at a crossroads, let it define us or use it to grow. The way we choose to see adversity shapes not only our immediate experience, but also our future resilience. I remember a story that left a deep impression on me. It was about someone who faced a devastating setback in their career. After working tirelessly for years, they were passed over for a promotion they felt they had earned. The rejection hit hard, leaving them bitter, angry, and full of self-doubt. At first, they retreated inward, questioning their worth and feeling trapped by disappointment. But over time, they began to shift their perspective. Instead of fixating on the loss, they asked themselves, what can I learn from this? They identified gaps in their skill set, sought out mentors for guidance, and even enrolled in courses to sharpen their expertise. Slowly but surely, their efforts paid off. A year later, they not only secured a better promotion, but also gained a renewed sense of confidence. What once felt like failure had become the foundation for personal growth. This story illustrates a timeless Stoic principle. It's not the events themselves that disturb us, but how we interpret them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Adversity is not the enemy, it is the growth path. If you find yourself in the grip of a challenge, take a moment to shift your perspective and approach the situation with clarity and resilience. Start by pausing. When adversity strikes, resist the urge to react immediately. Give yourself the space to process what has happened without judgment. Reflect on the situation. Ask yourself what lessons can be drawn from it. This introspection often uncovers hidden strengths or areas where growth is possible. Next, focus on what you can control. While the past is immovable, your future actions are entirely within your hands. Channel your energy into steps that align with your values and goals. Even the smallest actions like planning your next move or seeking advice can lay the groundwork for progress and renewed confidence. Finally, look beyond the pain and search for the opportunities hidden within the difficulty. Every setback carries the seeds of transformation. Perhaps you'll gain a new perspective, strengthen your resilience, or develop a skill you previously overlooked. These silver linings may not erase the challenge, but they can add meaning and purpose to the experience. By embracing adversity, you unlock its potential to teach, transform, and strengthen you. It's not about avoiding challenges. It's about seeing them for what they are, the greatest mentors life has to offer. 7. Gratitude as a mental strength booster. In a world filled with distractions and comparisons, it's easy to focus on what's missing rather than what we have. Gratitude, however, is a quiet force that shifts our perspective. It grounds us in the present and reminds us of life's abundance. Gratitude isn't about ignoring challenges. It's about finding balance, recognizing the good amidst the struggles, and drawing strength from it. The Stoics understood this deeply. They taught that life's trials are inevitable, but our ability to appreciate what remains is a choice we can make every day. Marcus Aurelius, reflecting on his struggles, wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This practice isn't just philosophy, it's a tool to foster resilience and inner peace. Imagine someone facing a significant setback, losing a job perhaps. The initial reaction might be frustration or fear, focusing on what's lost. But gratitude offers a different lens. Instead of spiraling into despair, they might reflect on what they still have: their skills, their health, and the support of family. This shift doesn't erase the challenge, but provides a foundation to rebuild. If you're navigating a difficult time, here's how gratitude can strengthen your mental resilience. Start by acknowledging what you feel. Gratitude isn't about suppressing negative emotions. It's about finding balance. Allow yourself to feel disappointment or sadness, but then consciously turn your attention to what you can appreciate. This practice creates emotional stability. Next, make gratitude a daily habit. Each evening, write down 3 things you're thankful for, small or big. It might be a kind word from a colleague, a peaceful walk, or simply having a meal you enjoyed. Over time, this simple practice rewires your brain to notice positivity in your day-to-day life. Finally, apply gratitude as a lens during challenges. When faced with adversity, ask yourself, what remains? This question encourages you to focus on the aspects of your life that are still intact and valuable. These are the anchors that help you weather life's storms. Gratitude is not just a fleeting feeling, it's a practice of perspective. By embracing it, you cultivate mental strength, balance, and clarity. The next time life feels overwhelming, pause and remind yourself of the good that surrounds you. In doing so, you'll discover that gratitude is more than a mental strength booster. It's a source of peace and power that sustains you through life's highs and lows. As we reach the end of this journey through the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy, let's pause and reflect on the lessons we've uncovered. From mastering your thoughts to embracing adversity, and from building your inner citadel to finding strength in gratitude, these practices are more than just ideas. They're tools for a life of resilience, clarity, and purpose. The path to mental strength isn't about perfection or immediate transformation. It's about small, consistent actions that align with your values. Each day, you have the power to make choices that strengthen your mind and bring peace to your life. Whether it's reframing challenges, practicing gratitude, or letting go of what you can't control, these lessons offer a foundation for navigating life with calm and confidence. Now it's your turn. Take these teachings and put them into practice. Choose one principle that resonated most with you and commit to incorporating it into your daily life. Over time, you'll find that these small steps create lasting change, shaping not just your perspective, but the way you experience the world. So what about you? Which secret to mental strength inspired you the most? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Let's learn from one another and continue to grow as a community of thoughtful, resilient individuals. If you found this video helpful, like it, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to Stoic Narratives Official for more insights on building a meaningful life through timeless wisdom. Together, let's make each day a step toward becoming the best version of ourselves. The journey to mental strength is ongoing, but every moment is an opportunity to grow. Let's keep moving forward, one deliberate choice at a time.